Thanks everybody for joining. I repeat myself, but I'm Rodrigo. I lead product at dLocal, and I'm here with Joel, who is our head of all of our integrations with all of our payment methods. And together with Joe, we will be sharing with you this new instant payment system in Brazil that is called PIX. How are you, Joe?
Hey, hi everybody. Thanks for welcoming. So yeah, I'm here to support and to be together with Rodri to explain and to help you all to understanding this new payment or payment method that is being launched in Brazil very soon, and that we are of course offering all together with you to enhance our offer and to enhance our payments and payouts product.
Thanks, Joe, for that. So first, a few housekeeping items. We will start presenting the solution to you guys. We'll leave a time at the end for questions and everything. But in the meanwhile, you can use your GoToWebinar menu to start typing the questions that then we will read out and answer them in the last 10 minutes. So let's move forward with our agenda today. So today we're gonna cover, as we said, PIX. We're gonna first give you a quick introduction about dLocal, about what we do in the entire world and in Brazil in particular. Then we're gonna see this new payment system, that it's more than a payment system. What is PIX in Brazil? What is changing in the ecosystem, and how we will be using it today in terms of payments. So basically, it's giving you some examples of the day-to-day usage that we will see with PIX. What we then we will look into pay-ins and payouts, basically the two models for payments that we'll presenting for PIX. And then finally, what do you need to start using PIX working with dLocal? So let's jump right into it. dLocal, it's your emerging markets payment expert. What we do is that we process payments and payouts locally in emerging markets in 26 currencies right now. We process payments and payment solutions in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, while settling our merchants wherever they are, in euros, in dollars. So we bring these local connections so your users can experience the local payments, how they pay for anything in their local experience and their day-to-day lives, but buying and paying for international purchase and e-commerce businesses. So who we are a company that gives through one API more than 300 local payment methods in Latin America, Africa, Asia, reaching out more than 2 billion consumers, doing both pay-ins and payouts, basically getting payments from your users in these markets and sending payments, sending mass disbursements to these customers. And currently we have more than 450 merchants working with us. And we look at payments for the world's biggest innovators across the spectrum. So we work for working on retail, digital goods, ride sharing, tourism and travel. So there is a wide range of industries that benefit from these local payments. And our customers, what do they value the most? Is basically the simple and fast market entry. These are complex markets where we try to bring an easy and fast solution to enter the market and process locally. So basically, every time we process payments within a market, we do so locally. So basically, using the local acquirers for processing credit and debit cards, connecting with the local digital payment systems, or cash networks that are in each country or with the bank systems. So whatever maximizes your reach, checkout completions, and basically is a usual payment way for your users in the market, we provide that. And then you don't need to worry about FX. You don't need to worry about how to handle all this through the entire set of countries that we offer. We automatically repatriate all the funds. So back to you, you receive the payments in USD, in euros, or whatever currency that you prefer. Basically handling all the markets through one entire process, and basically always offering a secure enterprise class platform with one API access, being totally, in terms of cards, being totally PCI compliant. So basically you have the entire platform to make this reach and to process payments with no worries in emerging markets. So let's go into PIX. So many of you may have heard of it. Some of you, it's the first time. So PIX, it's the new payment system brought by the Central Bank of Brazil. Its main goals are to democratize the financial system and having money circulating faster. So they were seeing, first of all, Brazil, there is a huge unbanked population that is outside the banking system. And on the other side, there are many blockers to have money processing from one business or one person to another with limitations. So what they are trying to do is to democratize the entire financial system with 24/7 availability, including holidays, weekends, and at 3 a.m. You can make a payment, and that payment is settled to this other person right away. So you don't need to wait for banks to open everything. Everything is automatic and functioning 24/7. And the good thing is that they are not trying to change how the user and the people interact with the financial system. So it's an alternative that will compete against other methods, but it's not an app or a payment method itself per se. But basically it allows whatever you have, whether it's a bank account or a new wallet, to process payment through one integrated system. So this makes that the money can be transferred within seconds from one user to another. And right now, PIX is launching into phases, and it's mandatory for all regulated financial institutions licensed by the central bank with more than 500,000 active customer accounts. So for them, it's mandatory. So basically, this makes that the largest financial institutions are mandated to go through PIX, and that assures that most of the population is already onboarded on PIX for this launch that will happen in the next few weeks. So a little bit of history. Prior to 2018, the central bank started working with different groups of financial institutions, more than 130, to start investigating the development of this instant payment system, trying to do research, do tons of collaborations among these institutions to come up with the capabilities needed in terms of payment, in terms of system, in terms of security, for this to be launched by the central bank. So December 2018, they finished all this work, announced a set of guidelines, and the central bank starts working on what will become PIX, that was launched in February of this year as the system brand. So basically, they have been working. February, they launched the name PIX for this, and they started preparing the ground, preparing the field for the launch in November. So we are now almost ready for the launch. And as I said, so basically they were aiming at having the largest financial institutions already on board. So this can be adopted quite easily by the Brazilian population. So this is a quick overview of the instant payment system, Sistema de Pagamento Instantâneo in Portuguese. Sorry for my accent. But basically, this is the system that centralizes all the accounts information from all the financial institutions for making these payments. As you see, all the consumers have their local banks and e-wallets connected to SEPA, and basically merchants can be connected directly, in this case, through dLocal to access the PIX network and start working with all the users' accounts that are connected. So basically, you can access all the financial institutions through dLocal to receive and send payments with interacting with your consumers. And for this, you will be hearing a lot about PIX keys, and what we're trying to define here. What are these PIX keys? So these are basically the identifier for the user's account. It's not the account within the within the bank or within the wallet per se. So basically, it's an identifier that can be linked to that account. If here, for example, similar payment systems such as IMPS and UPI in India. So you see that they have a VPA, the virtual private address. This is the similar way the Brazilian user or company can have associated their social security number, the CPF for persons, or CNPJ for the tax ID for companies, or their cell phone number, or their email address, or any other random number that can be linked to the user's final wallet or banking account. So so this portability of keys that can be widely used and widely spread can help the connection and can help big time on the payment experience being easier and without friction. So many of you may have heard about Boleto Bancário in Brazil, or other pay methods that besides card payments there are quite popular in Brazil. So if we compare PIX with these traditional pay methods, we'll see that there is an immediate confirmation instead of, for example, Boleto, that you need to wait in case, for example, with Boleto Fast in dLocal, you wait for around 20 minutes, and then in some weekends, it's not, the banking system is not fully operational, so you need to wait until Monday and Tuesday to get the payments confirmation. Lower processing costs. All the system is integrated here, and all the processing volume that is regulated by the central bank will lower the costs. Faster settlement. We'll see some examples here where for payouts, for example, the money reaches your end user right in seconds. They don't need to wait for the banks to process all the payments. Availability 24/7, so there is no times that the bank closes and that's it, you need to wait to the next day. It's working 24/7, and they're trying to smooth the payment experience, to have a payment experience that is really helpful and that can be used whether it's in physical stores or online payments through your desktops, through your mobile. It's really friendly that way, and we will see some examples. So I'll leave it to Joe to continue and show you some of these examples.
Okay, so let's dig into some examples on how we can use PIX, or how PIX will be implemented in different scenarios. and then continue with how it works. So let's have the first situation, and it's a very basic consumer online purchasing. So we have our guy, in this case is our Brazilian Joao, and he wants to make a payment and a purchase on an online store for a good or a service. So what will happen here is that he will purchase his domain, as it says, in Acme using his smartphone. He selects PIX as a payment method, and on the website, he will see the PIX, let's say, interface that the merchant did build, and will see a transaction ID with a copy button. He can copy this transaction ID and then go into its own wallet or its own bank, in this case, for example, PAC Bank, and select on the PIX payment section that each bank and its wallet will have the transaction ID option, paste it there, and click to confirm the payment. This will trigger the transaction all through his bank or his wallet into the PIX system, into the central bank, and then back confirmation through the processor that this merchant will be using in order to get confirmation of instant confirmation of the payment, so that the goods or the service in this case are confirmed and the value is given to the user. Alternatively, as you can see, it's also common to use a QR code that is dynamically generated for the transaction. Then the merchant generates the code, the QR code, and the user just goes to its bank or its wallet, clicks on PIX payment, and will scan. There's an option for scanning the QR code, and immediately the transaction will be paid and the confirmation will go all through the SPI, the Sistema de Pagamento Instantáneo, that PIX will provide. So this is kind of the first situation. We have very simple payment to an online purchase. Let's go for another situation that we can find and PIX will be used. So imagine there is another Brazilian guy that has his account in Itaú Bank. In this case, he goes to a restaurant. He wants to buy something in the restaurant or in a store. For example, when the moment comes for him to pay the bill, then the restaurant will have kind of maybe in the table a static QR code that is printed for all customers that will kind of include all the details of that restaurant or that store's bank account or PIX account. So the user just needs to open the application from his bank or wallet, will need to go and scan for the QR code, and we'll see the exact information where to make this transfer or this payment. Then just needs to input the amount of the purchase, or for example, of this tasty hamburger that he had, and he can of course tip the restaurant or the waitress, and the payment will be confirmed instantly, and all the bill will be settled accordingly at the moment using this kind of static QR code in a physical store. Let's see the third situation, and this is also useful for like P2P payments, and this is where mainly, for example, the PIX keys that Rodri was talking about, they are coming into use, and they will be very useful in this case. So let's see, our two guys, Lucas and Joao, will meet Thais, her friend, and they will share a meal together. And Thais will go and pay for all the groceries and buy for them, and of course they need to pay her back their share, their part. So she will share with them her PIX keys. She did register. She has, for example, her bank. In this case, is Banco do Brasil. She did register 2 of the keys in her bank. One is the email, her email address, and one is her mobile phone. So she will share with Lucas one of her keys. In this case, for example, her email, and she will share with Joao her mobile number. So both of them get into their own bank account or wallet, in either Itaú, PAC Bank, or any other, will input Thais' PIX keys that she did share, and make a transfer to those keys, input the amount that they need to send, and through the PIX system, the payment will reach to Thais to her Banco do Brasil account. And let's see another situation that is kind of useful. In this case, is for example for a ride-sharing situation. A driver does collect cash, a cash payment from Thais, and needs to pay to the right app, needs to pay for the commission or the invoice that he needs to send back to the application, to the company. And in this case, they will generate a QR code, or he will just input the transaction ID code that will be displayed for this payment. Of course, the amount is included in that transaction, and he goes to his own home banking app, his wallet app, or whatever, clicks or selects PIX payment, and then pastes that ID code or scans, for example, the QR code in there, and will be sending the money that he actually collected in cash, will be sending that money to the company that he owes to. So let's see, in the same situation, there is a different scenario that may happen. For example, if in this case Thais does not pay to Luis, to the driver, in cash, but she actually pays with her credit card, for example, on the riding app, then the company needs to pay out to give the money, send funds to Luis for the ride. So what can happen? Luis can share his PIX account, for example, one of his keys that he has registered on his bank account, in this case Santander Bank, and will input that on the ride app, and the company will send a PIX payment directly to the bank, to Luis, and this will be an instant payment to any of the keys that Luis did register, and he will get the funds, of course, immediately. So these are kind of the different scenarios that we are seeing with PIX that can apply. And now we can dig a little further on how we can adapt these PIX functionalities in our daily offer, in our daily products that are kind of pay-ins and payouts. So let's start with this section that is accepting online payments with PIX and with dLocal, of course. So what we'll be seeing here is that we can accept, or you as a merchant can accept payments via PIX system just by generating, for example, QR codes or transactions related to those QR codes. And the user can just simply get into their bank account or get into their wallet and do a PIX payment. And this will be available for 24/7 every day, and it's very, very simple to use. So on your checkout, that what you are seeing here on the screen is that on your checkout, as you today display, for example, in Brazil, different credit cards or debit cards or Boleto Bancário, that it's very, very common and used in Brazil, then there will be a new payment method that you can add very easily. That will be PIX, a PIX payment. So when the user comes and clicks on PIX payment, there will be two different possible scenarios. One is paying with QR code, another one is copying and pasting. So let's see for the first one with the QR code. The user will just be seeing this QR code on the screen, will go to his home banking app, select I want to pay a QR payment, QR code, will scan that code, and the transaction will be approved. So here it is. When you click on PIX, you will see a QR code, and then go to this will be the flow of the home banking. Go to the PIX section and say, for example, in the option in this case is choose paying with the QR code. We'll go with his camera and his smartphone, scan the code that appears on the screen, and confirm the transaction that will be going to the merchant, and the transaction will be approved. And of course, the notification will get back to the merchant that needs to deliver the goods. The alternative, of course, that in this case you would be thinking is, how could I scan a QR code that is on my mobile phone at the moment? So it's quite not possible right now, but there's an alternative to this, that is to each QR code generated, there is transaction ID or kind of a transaction identifier that can be the same and work the same as the QR code. So the user goes, chooses PIX as a payment method. We'll see this, as you see on the second image. We'll see you see that there is a code, and there's a button that will say copy ID, copy this transaction ID, and we'll use this functionality that in Brazil will be called copia e cola, that is copy and paste, and on his home banking app or his wallet app or whichever application that he uses with his PIX account, will go and pay with transaction ID, paste the transaction ID, click on pay, confirm, and the transaction will be confirmed. Notification will be get instantly or within few seconds through all the system that the payment has been done. And of course, the merchant will get notice of this and enable access to the service or the goods. So let's see that in this case, the user will really appreciate a lot of different enhancements that this payout method does bring into the payment ecosystem in Brazil. There is, of course, instant confirmation, immediate confirmation of the orders. They can use their preferred, like they can choose and pay their goods and services whenever they feel like they want to do that. They can use very flexible like applications if they prefer using the whole banking or their e-wallet. Like we can reach any of those, and of course there are many unbanked users that will be extremely like to get access to this, because if they are using, for example, wallets or e-wallets and not regular bank accounts, traditional bank accounts, then PIX will be enabled for them also, as these institutions are also participating and will be enabling features for their users to pay with PIX payments. So in our backend, then, for example, many of you may be familiar, then you can see this dashboard on our system at dLocal, and as you see, for example, this payment was made in Brazil with a Visa or MasterCard or Boleto. You will also be seeing now that there was a new payment made the same way, but via PIX, with the PIX code and the PIX logo and all the same information that you're seeing nowadays as a regular transaction. So we did just cover how our product of pay-ins integrates and works with PIX, and what we are offering for you to integrate and to work with pay-ins and PIX and collect payments. But now we can also dig into how can we send payouts or send from a business perspective to another user, another consumer, send the payments. So the idea is, from any part of the world, you can just collect some information from the user, such as PIX key or email or phone number or whatever, and send the PIX payment to the user in Brazil. So there will be thousands, millions of payments flowing from all over the world, actually, in order to settle funds and to send these payments to local sellers, drivers, contractors, or any partner you have in Brazil. So in this case, why is it useful? Why do we offer, and how do we see these PIX payouts? Of course, it is we are offering, or you will be offering together with us, our Brazilian partners, your Brazilian partners or users, a very localized payment experience, very easy to access. Funds will be created almost immediately. Of course, there is a few seconds here for this confirmation, and the user, the customer, will be able to access to that funds and use them whatever wants. They can use it again in another PIX payment, or they can take it from bank or wallet and use it in any other flexible situation. And of course, you can start sending not only to bank payouts to banks, but also to digital wallet accounts that will enable and will be connected to this PIX system. So how can we send, how can you send PIX payouts? So one of the ways is using this address PIX key or these addressing keys. Each user can register different keys, as much as 5 of them. That are maybe email address, mobile number, their local tax ID, CPF or CNPJ. And you can have more than one email address, for example, more than one mobile number. So the idea is you just collect one of those and send this PIX payment. The other alternative will be collecting the bank or e-wallet information. Let's say what is the institution, the bank or the wallet, what is the branch, and what is the account number. And using the PIX system, you just input those details, same as you can do now, or similarly as you collect for a regular payout, and the user will get credited the funds into that account. So the flow looks as follows. The merchant will send an instruction to dLocal using, for example, the user PIX keys. Let's say a merchant needs to send to a certain customer a certain payment, they do collect just the email of the user or the phone number, and that will, if the user did register that key into a PIX account, then we will send this transaction through the SPI, and the participant bank or the institution, maybe a wallet, maybe a bank that the consumer does have that registered key, will get the funds within very, very few time, and those funds are created into the account and available for the user to use whenever and wherever he does want. So in this case, we can see all the advantages of using payouts, and the recipients or the consumers that do have these features with us will be, of course, receiving the funds immediately. And as we said several times, this works 24 hours a day, and it also works during weekends and holidays. So it's a very attractive situation and very attractive payment method in this case that currently banks do not offer. They can also choose where to receive the funds. Nowadays, payouts or this kind of transfers were actually bank transfers and were only able to be sent to bank accounts, but now e-wallets are available, and the funds are being confirmed and credited immediately for other use that the account holder might want to use them for. So same case, in this, you're seeing now our back office tool, our dashboard, and you will be seeing the same transaction that the user does receive the funds, and we register all the information, such as what was the amount that was paid, what was of course the CPF or tax ID, what was the different keys that might be used or had been used, for example, the mobile number and or account number for that institution. I will let now Rodri to continue and finish with this opportunity of adding PIX in Brazil with dLocal.
Thanks, Joe, for this amazing overview. So we are ready, just to be very brief and very direct. We are ready for PIX. So on November 3rd started the central bank allowing the live payments for testing and everything, and we're happy to share that we did our first transaction right now. So we are on the final steps to get everything ready by the central bank, so you can start including the PIX payments on your integration with dLocal really fast and really simple. And as always, for all the alternative payment methods within dLocal, we provide our two different flavors: the direct flow, where you can build your own user interface. Basically, we will send you through the API all the information needed to basically paint the page as you'd like, with all the guides that we will provide to you, also for presenting the QR code or the transaction ID for the Copia Cola solution that we've just seen, or using the redirect flow where you can redirect the user to the PIX payment page to have the options of payments, whatever you like. It's already there for you. And you can check our API documentation at docs.dlocal.com, where we have basically the information for PIX payments and how you can use what we've said both ways. So in terms of payments, as we were showing with the QR codes and everything, or also on payouts, just sending any of the PIX keys or the final account from the user, whatever you like. And basically you need to wait a little bit longer until November 16th. The central bank is making everything ready. these weeks, so we can have not only the local but also all the main financial institutions. So basically what you need is the network to be ready, and that's what it's happening right now as we speak. So wrapping up, using dLocal, you can start sending and collecting PIX payments easily, whether it's payments and payouts. You can start working with this system. And why PIX? Why is it? It's not just a new solution, but it's really a better solution. So you can access more than 45 million Brazilians and boost conversion rates by reducing friction and giving a smoother and instant payment experience. And here you see that Brazilians are used to wait, for example, to pay with Boleto Bancário, to wait 24 hours or to wait to the next business day for a payment confirmation. PIX will shorten this time to immediate confirmation in a matter of seconds. So this will create a positive impact on how the users are interacting with you. And for you, if you are handling stock, if you are working with or your digital subscriptions, everything, this will be a faster and easier way to connect with your users. And it's really easy to integrate right now. Just if you're already working with dLocal, just sending a new payment code and we are up and running. So thank you very much for your time. I know that we have a lot of questions on the questions section, so let's dig right into them. Are you ready, Joe?
Let's go for it.
Awesome. So I have one question here. That's what are the requirements to add PIX as a PSP? Local entity, specific requirements. All merchant verticals are allowed to use it. You know, Joe, if you want to take this one.
Yeah, sure. So if you're a PSP and connecting with dLocal, then the requirements are pretty much the same than using any other payment method. Of course, not all merchant verticals are allowed into this, but these are kind of limited by dLocal in the same merchant verticals that we are working right now.
Another question regarding international merchants. So for international remittances like US to Brazil, will PIX replace the current system or only if the user has registered with PIX? So I can take the one. So basically this is a new system. It's not replacing the banking system that it's currently working in Brazil. And PIX is a local system, right? So what I've seen is basically if you work with dLocal, for example, what we do is that we benefit from those local connections to use local systems. So and yeah, they will basically the current banking system, everything will continue working as it is. But then if you decide to start using PIX and everything and to leverage this to connect with your users, you can do so right away. If it's international, you need to have to work with a local processor such as dLocal. And if you're in Brazil, you can banks will start allowing these PIX payments across the board. So we have a question here from Tito, just Tito. So a user could have the mobile number linked to his email and the same email address linked to an e-wallet. What do you say there?
Okay, so actually you don't link your mobile number to your email. You do link your mobile number as a key to your wallet or to your bank account. So the user can link one mobile number to the wallet and also one email to the wallet. So same wallet or same bank. So when he wants to receive a payment, he just can share either one of those, or the email or the mobile number, and any PIX payment sent to any of those keys will be credited instantly, immediately to those to that bank account that those are related to.
Great, thanks for that answer. So a little bit more about PIX payouts. How can you get a PIX key? Is it one issued per user and is it common for all banks and wallets, or how it is issued? So basically, I know if you want to follow up a little bit more on the PIX keys.
Sure. So the PIX keys in this case are for the users, for the ones who is sending the payment, the user that is paying PIX payment to the merchant in this case, or for the user that is receiving this payout in this case, this funds transfer. The way for the user to register the key is just you will go to your home banking app or to your e-wallet, and as there is a section that you will be able to send a PIX payment or scan a QR code, then there's also a section for you to register certain keys. Then you can generate a key. You can register, for example, either your email or 2 of your emails, 1 or 2 of your mobile numbers. You can register your CPF, and up to 5 keys can be generated. Something we did not talk about was that there are also some random keys that you can generate. These are not that mnemotechnic. You cannot easily understand them, but there's also a random string, a random, let's say, word that is like 70 characters, 74, that will be able to share, will be useful to share to others, but mainly each user can go and generate either these random keys or can register emails, tax IDs, or mobile numbers.
Great. And interesting question regarding chargebacks. So does the chargeback liability shift to customer registering bank when she selects PIX as payment method? We haven't talked about this, but Joe, you can share a little bit more on the chargeback and dispute side.
Yeah. So in this case, this is a new payment method that hasn't been launched yet. Will be launching like 10 days from now. So there's actually no chargeback yet, and no one has faced this situation. The idea of fraud is kind of considered, but there's nothing in place that the central bank did put. It's like on each PSP or on each bank that before accepting a payment or before sending a payment needs to validate, and the institution will have the risk on their side. There is no chargeback flow considered at this moment yet. I believe, in my own opinion, that within some time, this, of course, payment method will continue evolving and will continue having much more features. And as long as the market gets used to it, then there might be considerations for chargebacks. But for now, there is nothing related to it.
Great. So we have another question here. What information should be collected by merchant from the user to initiate payment via PIX with dLocal? So if it's a pay-in, so basically if you are trying to collect a payment from your user, you don't need to collect anything from them. You just present them the transaction ID or the QR code, and the user will finish the payment. If we're talking about payout, so basically sending the payment to the user, yes, whether it's the PIX key or any of the account from the user, you can send that on our integration with dLocal, and we will process that payment through the PIX system. And then, what is a lifetime of the initiated but not paid payment? Can merchants control it?
Yes. So there is kind of, you can set an expiration time. We can, for example, configure that for each PIX payment, like each QR code that you do generate, then it has a certain expiration time or due date for the payment to be done. And after this time, if the user does scan this QR code, then the transaction will not go through and will be rejected by the system.
Great. So it can be set. Perfect. And does PIX support refunds?
Yes, you can do refunds. Actually, a refund from PIX, it's kind of the same as sending a payout or sending a transfer back to one of the keys or a bank account that has that PIX associated.
A question from long-standing merchants for dLocal. Is there any plan to add PIX method to the 1.0 API and how a user can register for PIX. So yeah, for merchants that have our 1.0 API, we'll add the payment code to it, so you can start using it. And for how they can register for PIX, just talk with your account manager and they will configure everything up. So I have a few more questions. Bear with me. I think it's kind of on the payout side a bit more digging, but just to be clear, can you still send payouts to a bank account without PIX? Joe? Joe? Okay, I can. So yes, so you can still send payouts to the bank account. So still using the same process as you have been doing so, and we will still be having that as with the standard way, so no problem on that side. So let's see. So if I want to process PIX payments as a merchant, do I need to register with each bank or wallet? No, so you don't need to register with each bank or wallet. Once if you're going through dLocal, just configuring the payment method and that's it. You will be receiving payments for payments from any financial institution, like saying, okay, this is my transaction ID for PIX, and the user can choose their best option to pay that PIX payment. No problem on that side. So the pricing for direct redirect is different. No, so basically you can talk with your account manager, but it's going to be the same pricing for direct or redirect flows. Just to remind you, Christina, that the direct flow is only available on the API 2.0 and later, not on the API 1.0. So for the API 1.0, we'll have PIX as with the redirect option as for any other payment methods in the alternative side. Let's see what else. So I have another question about recurring payments. What will PIX payments will be available for recurring payments? So actually, right now, no. So on the first stage, these payments will be basically one-offs. As you've seen, we need to go through each ID, and the user needs to complete the payment process by themselves. The idea is to have on a second stage, we'll see with the central bank, to schedule payments through a subscription model, basically kind of authorizing the subscription from the user on the first payment, then yes, do these kind of recurring payments. Okay. Yes, and payouts work also in 1.0 integration, correct. So let's see, we have any other question on your end? Here I have another one. Is there a minimum or maximum amount for processing PIX payments? No, so basically it's set by the user, the max amount that they can have and everything. We also, as Joe was mentioning, we have different there are actually no chargebacks right now, so there might be some threshold that banks will put as for any other bank transfer. So that will depend on the bank and everything. But yeah, that's about it in terms of maximum amounts that we can see. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for your time. We had a great time here with you, and happy to see you again in the next session. And yeah, feel free to contact us if you have any other questions. And thank you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.